Top 10 Scandals in MMA. Everyone is interested in scandals until they themselves are not involved in it. From political corruption to fixed sporting events and everything in between, scandals seek attention in a society like nothing else. In mixed martial arts, there have been a number of occasions when the sport has made the wrong kind of headlines due to the activities of several fighters. MMA has some of the most dynamic personalities in all of sports. What they are is nothing more than a mere illusion. In today's video, we will be talking about the top 10 scandals in MMA. Number 10, the Rafael Torres murder case. Rafael Torres went from a nobody and came into the limelight with a deceptive story of exceptional wins in the ring, including having a jiu-jitsu black belt. His story is an example of how deception can destroy a career. In 2001, in a professional MMA fight, his career was almost over as it began, in which he won by knee bar inside the King of the Cage promotion and was convicted of murdering Brian Richards. Richards was the husband of his former wife, Angelina. Torres was convicted of murder by rear naked choke. Richards' body was found in the bed of his pickup truck, covered in trash bags. During the trial, Torres confessed that his girlfriend Angelina Richards killed Brian, and he merely helped her cover it up in order to get $1 million from her husband's life insurance policy. The jury did not believe his claims, and Torres was sentenced to life imprisonment with no chance of his release. Former UFC fighter Gerald Stabrant testified that Torres had offered him $10,000 to kill Richards during his testimony. 9. Chael Sonnen mortgage fraud. Chael Sonnen is no stranger to performance-enhancing drugs in MMA. In July 2015, the UFC three-time title challenger ran into trouble when the California State Athletic Commission revealed that shortly after suffering a fifth-round triangle armbar submission loss to Anderson Silva at UFC 117, he had tested positive for elevated testosterone levels. Besides this, Sonnen pleaded guilty in a money laundering case a few years ago. He was fined $10,000 and sentenced to 2 years probation. He was sentenced by the U.S. District Court in the District of Oregon's Portland courts by Judge Michael W. Mossman. 2 more defendants were also charged in the case. 8. Vitor Belfort's TRT use, alleged UFC cover-up. The Brazilian fighter has been the favorite of his fans because of his raw power and blinding hand speed. However, the Phenom has been in trouble due to PED use for years. The Nevada State Athletic Commission fined and suspended the former UFC light heavyweight champion in 2006 for being positive for an anabolic steroids test. But when he came back, he felt his age, which led him to use testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, after which his career was on track again. But with mounting public pressure, the Ultimate Fighting Championship eliminated all PED use, including TRT, in which Belfort was involved. Eventually, UFC knew about Belfort's continued use of TRT and embraced it, and even sometimes covered it up. The UFC covered up Belfort's test for elevated testosterone prior to his fight with John Jones at UFC 152 in an article published on Deadspin. The UFC denied all wrongdoing, including its alleged attempt to force the accidental recipients to delete the emails. 7. Vanderlei Silva flees the NAC. Silva's entertaining style had delighted many MMA observers, and many even thought that the Brazilian might have been on the drugs in the Pride Fighting Championship. Silva had won against many contemporaries via knockouts, including Quentin Jackson and Kazushi Sakuraba, but when he came back to the UFC after Zuffa's purchase of Pride, he was not up to the mark as he was in Japan. Silva never failed a drug test until a representative from the Nevada Athletic Commission came to his Las Vegas gym to collect a random pre-fight urine sample. Silva escaped from the back door and fled the scene to avoid the collection process altogether. He denied the incident, but witnessed NAC testimony claimed. Silva was fined $70,000 and a lifetime ban from the commission, which reduced his penalty to 3 years. 6. Joe Son rape conviction. In 2008, Joe Son was convicted of the crime of a 1990 Christmas Eve gang rape. He was in police custody on an unrelated probation violation when he was linked to the rape through a DNA sample he had given. Son was charged with 5 felony counts of forcible rape, 2 felony counts of forcible sodomy, 2 felony counts of sodomy in concert by force, 7 counts of forcible oral copulation, and 1 felony count of sexual penetration by foreign object by force. Bail was set at $1 million, and Son faced 275 years to life in prison. Original charges were removed due to statute of limitations, so he was charged only with conspiracy to commit torture and murder. He pleaded guilty to 1 felony count of torture in relation to the incident. 5. Rampage on the Rampage. In 2008, Quentin Jackson was in police custody for rampaging through Southern California in his new Ford F-350 truck. He smashed his vehicle with a parked vehicle and 2 other automobiles while being chased by police. Authorities pursued Rampage through several red lights, even after Jackson's truck blew a tire. This did not take too long, as he was arrested at gunpoint and taken into custody. Rampage was in the news more when he was popular during the Ultimate Fighting Championship at that time, and UFC President Dana White quickly took the situation into control. He told that his fighter had been suffering through a period of delirium after not eating or sleeping for days and consuming too much of an energy drink. Rampage claimed years later, when Jackson first talked to the media about the pursuit, that he had heard the voice of God fighting with the devil and that he needed to rush to his friend who had lost his faith in God. 4. John Jones stripped of UFC title. Jones was among the top MMA fighters and looked downright invincible at times. In UFC 182, he retained his Ultimate Fighting Championship light heavyweight title by knocking out Daniel Cormier. Not long after, when the reports came that Jones had failed a pre-fight drug test with traces of cocaine. This was only the beginning of his troubles. If the test was not enough, Jones was then involved in a hit-and-run accident in which a pregnant woman broke her arm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Bones fled the scene, only to return and grab a wad of cash. Jones was eventually stripped of his title, fined, and suspended, and his fall from grace was stunning. 3. Lee Murray bank heist. One of the first major scandals in the MMA community involved Murray, a promising middleweight with an 8-2 record who had submitted Jorge Rivera with a triangle armbar at UFC 46. He seemed to have evidently been more influenced by crime thrillers than mixed martial arts training. Murray was accused of planning the biggest non-wartime cash heist in history in 2006, which sentenced him to 10 to 25 years in prison. Murray led a group of men who broke into a Securitas cash depot in Tunbridge, England, and took $92 million. Murray and his team reportedly kidnapped 14 employees and threatened to kill them. After several of his cohorts were caught, he fled to Morocco, where he was later apprehended. Number 2. War Machine turns to domestic violence. John Koppenhaver was never considered a great mixed martial artist, but the fighters with which he competed went far in Season 6 of the Ultimate Fighter reality series. He had many altercations with the law after being released by the Ultimate Fighting Championship in wake of a submission loss to Yoshiyuki Yoshida at UFC 84. In 2014, the man got to know about his girlfriend, porn star Christy Mack, cheating on him. According to reports, he found her at her house with another man and beat both of them. The attack sent Mack to the emergency room, and photos of her spread like wildfire across social media and news sources. The damage included 18 broken bones around her eyes, a broken nose in 2 places, chipped and knocked out teeth, a fractured rib, a ruptured liver, cut off hair, and various other injuries. War Machine was eventually arrested and jailed. 1. Yakuza involvement in PFC. The Pride Fighting Championships was once viewed as MMA's #1 promotion by most fans and media. What was not known to people was that the Japanese organization was run by the Japanese Mafia, or Yakuza. When Zuffa purchased Pride in 2007, several people came out detailing the Yakuza's involvement. The reports included fixed fights, proposed fight fixing, and fighters fighting with no contracts and not getting paid what was promised. Some were even threatened. After a Japanese newspaper published an eye-opening expose on the Pride-Yakuza relationship, Fuji TV severed all ties with the promotion, effectively crippling it in Japan. So, this was all about this video. I hope you like the information given in the video. If you have anything on your mind, feel free to comment below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to get more videos like this. Also, hit the bell icon to get the notification of the latest updates on the channel. And thanks for watching.